You need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I file a few lawsuits, and
all cancel culture. And she claims there can be unintended consequences. Take a look.
Allegedly.
And she does. Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly.
She allegedly paid $130,000.
Were you?
The long-running daytime talk show The View has officially been shut down, marking one of the most dramatic media collapses in television history. The controversial cancellation stems from a massive defamation lawsuit spearheaded by none other than former First Lady Melania Trump, who had long been a target of the show's relentless attacks. What began as years of mockery, speculation, and outright false claims about her personal life has now ended in a legal reckoning that
you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I file a few lawsuits, and
all cancel culture. And she claims there can be unintended consequences. Take a look.
Forced ABC to pull the plug on one of its most famous yet polarizing programs. For years, The View has built its reputation as a left-leaning panel show where co-hosts like Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin have openly criticized conservative figures. Melania Trump, in particular, had been subjected to repeated and baseless accusations. From ridiculing her accent to making unfounded claims about her marriage, the show turned her into a daily punchline. While Melania remained silent for years, quietly watching the attacks unfold, it became clear she was meticulously collecting evidence. When she finally struck back, it was a knockout blow that ABC and The View never saw coming. Melania's legal team reportedly uncovered years of blatant defamation, proving that The View had not only spread false information but had done so deliberately and maliciously.
Culture, and we all know what I'm talking about, whether you think there is one or there isn't one, or where you stand on it.
Allegedly paid $130,000.
Were you?
Her lawyers presented multiple instances in which co-hosts had falsely claimed that she despised her husband, wanted to leave the White House, and had financial dealings that were never substantiated. These claims, which were aired as facts rather than opinions, formed the basis of a legal case that ABC simply could not fight. The evidence was overwhelming, and rather than risk further damage, ABC executives had no choice but to pull the show off the air. The decision was not made lightly, but sources indicate that ABC was in full-blown panic mode behind the scenes. The lawsuit was not just about The View, it was about network-wide accountability. The risk of further legal action made it impossible to justify keeping the show on the air. ABC's lawyers reportedly warned that continuing to broadcast a program with a history of legally questionable statements would expose the company to more lawsuits from others who had been defamed in similar ways. Perhaps the most shocking aspect of this downfall is the involvement of legendary journalist and The View's creator, Barbara Walters. Although Walters had been retired from the program for years, insiders say she had to step in personally to clean up the mess before ABC lost any remaining credibility. Walters, who had built The View as a show for women with diverse viewpoints, was reportedly horrified at how it had devolved into what some have called a leftist attack squad. The original premise of fostering balanced discussions had long been abandoned in favor of a one-sided narrative, where conservative voices were not just debated, but outright vilified. Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar, two of the show's most controversial co-hosts, were reportedly blindsided by the cancellation. Sources say that Goldberg is furious, calling in every favor she can to salvage her career. She has allegedly been demanding answers from ABC executives, desperate to find a way to save her position, but it is clear that the network wants to distance itself from the legal and financial fallout. Joy Behar, on the other hand, is reportedly in a full-blown panic. Having spent decades spewing vitriol against conservatives, she now finds herself without a platform and scrambling to figure out what's next. Sunny Hostin, who had presented herself as the show's legal expert, now finds her own career on the chopping block. Melania's lawsuit specifically named her in legal documents, making it clear that Hostin's reckless commentary played a direct role in the show's downfall. ABC had no choice but to cut ties immediately, firing Hostin in an effort to limit further damage. The irony of it all is almost poetic. Hostin, who built her career by lecturing Americans about morality and justice, is now out of a job because of actual defamation. The meltdown behind the scenes at ABC has been nothing short of spectacular. Executives are reportedly scrambling to address the financial losses and the network's tarnished reputation. The View was once one of ABC's most profitable daytime shows, bringing in millions in advertising revenue. But with the lawsuits piling up and advertisers fleeing in droves, the network had no choice but to take drastic action. ABC is now facing a reckoning, with more lawsuits reportedly on the horizon. If Melania's lawsuit was enough to take down The View, one can only imagine what's coming next. Legal experts suggest that Donald Trump himself may be preparing to file a separate lawsuit against ABC for the years of misinformation spread about him. For decades, The View operated as a 24/7 anti-Trump propaganda machine, attacking him, his policies, and his supporters with reckless abandon. Now, with Trump back in power as the 47th president, many believe he will not let this opportunity slip by. The implications of this legal battle extend far beyond just one show. ABC is now in serious trouble, and the decision to cancel The View may not be enough to prevent further fallout. Melania's legal team ordered the seizure of the network's broadcasting license, sending a clear message that media outlets can no longer spread falsehoods without consequence. Other networks, including CNN and MSNBC, are reportedly watching the situation with growing concern, realizing that if The View could be shut down over defamation, they might be next. This legal victory for Melania Trump also serves as a warning shot to other media outlets that have spent years pushing narratives without evidence. The days of unchecked misinformation and slander appear to be coming to an end, and mainstream media is now facing an era of accountability. Late-night talk shows, once known for mocking conservative figures without any pushback, are reportedly worried that they, too, could face legal repercussions. The collapse of The View represents a significant cultural shift. For years, left-leaning media outlets operated under the assumption that they could say whatever they wanted about conservatives with no consequences. But now, the tide has turned. The Trump family, long ridiculed and dismissed, has shown that they are willing to fight back and win. For Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin, this is a career-ending scandal. Their credibility has been destroyed, and their futures in media are now in serious doubt. Without The View, they are left scrambling for relevance, but with the weight of legal action hanging over them, finding new platforms may prove difficult. As for Melania Trump, she has emerged stronger than ever. For years, the media attempted to paint her as weak, silent, and powerless. But by taking legal action and securing one of the most significant media shutdowns in history, she has proven that she is anything but. This victory solidifies her as a force to be reckoned with, someone who will no longer sit quietly while others defame her character. ABC's decision to cancel The View is not just about one show. It is a moment of reckoning for the entire media landscape. With legal teams now circling other networks, the precedent set by this case will undoubtedly have ripple effects across the industry. The mainstream media is learning the hard way that there are real consequences for spreading misinformation, and The View's cancellation may be just the beginning of a larger reckoning. In the end, the show that spent years attacking conservatives has now been dismantled by the very people it sought to destroy. The View is officially off the air, its co-hosts disgraced, and ABC left picking up the pieces of a disaster they created. The days of unchecked slander and politically motivated attacks may finally be coming to an end, and for many, that is a victory worth celebrating.